Rumors have persisted that Apple's work on a foldable or flippable iPhone continue. Here's what the latest ones are telling us. Real quick, if you want to keep up to date with all the latest Apple news and reviews, hit that subscribe button. So iPhone Fold rumors have circulated for literally half a decade at this point. Some have mocked Apple for being incredibly late to the game, while other manufacturers, Samsung, have released multiple generations at this point. But Apple is taking its tried and true approach. Only do something when you can do it different and better. I'm going to walk through a combination of rumors, analysts, and patents to give you the clearest glimpse yet at this folding iPhone and when we may see it. Before getting to the actual rumors, I want to hear your feedback. Let me know in the comments if you really do want a folding iPhone or not. Is it truly useful or just something different? And let me know if your opinion changes by the end of this video. It's crazy because almost every video I do on iPhones, I get comments about foldables down in the comments. So here's your chance. Let me know what you think. To start, the biggest part of a folding iPhone is the display. Early on, Apple was said to be working with LG and Samsung on the display, but finally settled on an exclusive deal with Samsung earlier this year. It may have the edge thanks to its work developing its own folding screens. This was repeated by two other claims in April and May of this year. The display on the inside has had conflicting reports on the size and dimensions. In February, one leaker said it would be comparable to two iPhone 6.1s folded together, resulting in a total size of over 12 inches. Seems unlikely. More recent leaks suggesting more akin to an iPad mini, between 7.5 to 8 inches. Lately, Ming-Chi says it would be a 7.8-inch display with a resolution of 2713 by 1920. This would give the display a pixel density of 428 pixels per inch. The outside-facing screen, on the other hand, is said to be 5.49 inches and have a resolution of 2088 by 1422. That's a pixel density of 460 ppi, matching that of Apple's typical iPhone displays now. The big thing with this display, though, and possibly the single biggest reason Apple has delayed launching a foldable, is the crease. Early Samsung devices were notoriously fragile and easily showed creases. They would literally break by being put in your pocket. Even the latest Samsung devices still show the crease, though it is much less noticeable than before. In February, a report said that Apple had managed to solve this issue completely and would ditch the crease. That was later reiterated by a second source. In March, Kuo said that Apple was going to use a liquid metal hinge for the display. Fun fact, Apple has been playing around with liquid metal for a while. It's super strong and lightweight. In fact, they actually used it in their SIM card removal tools before building it into a product. In July, Kuo said Apple may rely on Samsung technology for this folding display, possibly since Samsung has been able to improve it so much. So who knows how much of it will be like Samsung design and how much will be actual Apple tech. While we were talking about the display, Kuo did pour some cold water on the hopes of the under-the-screen Touch ID. It looks like Apple will not have Face ID due to size constraints on such a thin phone, and Touch ID will instead be relegated to the side button, kind of like on iPad Air. Moving to cameras. On the inside, there will be supposedly an under-the-screen hidden camera. There will be a selfie camera on the front and dual shooters on the back. One leak said there will be at least one 48 megapixel sensor on those rear lenses. As to when this phone may ultimately hit your pocket, though, we're getting closer. Earliest rumors said 2022 was the launch year, until September of 2021, when Ming-Chi punted that thought until 2024. Most recently, it was said earlier this year that 2027 was the current target. But a late August claim from analyst Jeff Pugh says that 2026 is the most likely. Pugh reiterated that claim on two other occasions as well. To add fuel to that fire, Kuo said Foxconn is kicking off a project in Q3 or Q4 of 2025 to start production on the foldable. DigiTimes in July said Apple had a full prototype of the folding iPhone ready to go. And finally, oft-reliable Bloomberg also said that next year would be happening, referencing 2026 for the launch. Remember, we have heard release windows before, and there obviously can be many delays. But when you have multiple of the most oft-cited analysts and leakers in the industry all saying 26 or maybe 2027, things are looking good. Pricing-wise, we've seen a few different estimates from various analysts. It seems the one thing that most can all agree on is that we priced at $2,000 or more. A 256 gig Z Fold is right at $2K, so Apple's prices won't be far off from the competition here. This would go a long way towards increasing the iPhone's ASP, or average selling price, without having to raise the prices on other models. We'll see the strategy Apple takes soon enough. In the meantime, I'll bring you plenty of coverage of Apple's new iPhone 17 lineup, so be sure you follow the channel for more. I'll see you all in the next video.